A warm welcome to Anuradha Vedic Astrology. Today we are with Chandrasekhar sir and we are going to learn another very difficult and very nicely put shlok by sir. So before we begin, a big thanks to all of you for liking, sharing and subscribing to our YouTube and Spotify channels and writing in your comments and your suggestions there. If you haven't subscribed to us, please do. And do remember to press the bell icon so that you can get the updates ASAP. A warm welcome to you, sir.
My pleasure.
Sir, what is the difficult and yet a very nice shlok that we're going to learn from you today?
See, we have been looking at, yoga as they call it, the planetary combination which lead to wealth. Let us look at the other side of it.
Yes,
The,
sir.
the problem is, what happens is people are scared about the Rekha yoga as they call it. Rekha is the yoga for Penunary, and they get elated with yoga of wealth. But one has to understand that a planet can, a chart has both the things. See, ultimately, that balancing of things is always there in the Lord's mind, perhaps. I'm not sure. And we must balance the two and then come out with, deduct the lesser amount from the uh, higher amount and then come to the final conclusion. So the idea entirely is not to get worried because one looks at the yoga for penury or get too much, elated looking at yogas which are promising wealth. One has to understand to obtain the positives and reduce the negative, one has to do the karma, which most of the people are many a times reluctant to do.
Accept.
And that is why I'm looking at see wealth we saw. So what happens about the penury part of it? And how to convert that penury into wealth is something that the karma has to be there and one has to learn to it. And that is why we look at this particular shloka. There are two. Kendrasthe va vilagni. In squares, or more specifically in the lagna, vilagna. Dinakarata nahe, saumya khete adrupti. That means the Dinakartana is Saturn. And then he goes on to say, Bhusuno Kalaho Samayaja Manujo Bhikshuko Dasapusta. Bhusuno is Mars, obviously. So a person who is now this also gives us an indication of importance of Hora. There is a saying that Hora is more powerful than the day, day is more powerful than the and so on and so forth, and you know that the Rashi and then the day and so on. So he says a person has to be born in the Hora of Mars, Hora of the War Lord, the Lord of the Day, is the first Hora in the uh, in daytime and the fifth one in the night time and the evening time rather. Whenever we say day in Vedic astrology, it is from sunrise to sunset.
Sunset, yes.
And every hour the Hora changes. And so he says that has to be the time. So if it is born on Tuesday, then he has to be born the first hour of the after the sunrise, within the first hour of the sunrise, and so on and so forth. And then Saturn should be placed in a kendra, a square or angle as it, or more specifically in Lagna, ascendant itself. And it should not be aspected by Saumya. Saumya Kheter, Adrufte. Now this can have two meanings. Saumya is also name of Mercury. But since it says Kheter, that means more than one.
One.
So only
The Samigrahas.
more than one benefics, as we call them, Saumegra. In that case, what happens is the person can be either a beggar or somebody who lives by seeking alms. I mean, he could also be an ascetic. So, Bhikshuka has two meanings. Or
Yes.
he is like a servant to others who serve others and earns there, which means he is not very well off financially. Now, what is happening here? We can see the Hora is of Mars, who is somebody who fights or whatever. and then no, the earlier one.
Right,
I
sir.
are coming to the second one. We first, and at that time, Saturn is in a square. So what will happen? We know Saturn aspects on the
Seventh from it.
seventh and the 10th from.
10th from it. So it will be
So
aspecting
he is influencing three of the
squares.
kendra.
Yeah.
So in a way, it is almost like the Sarpa Yoga, because three, I mean, malefic aspect influencing three
Kendras.
consecutive kendras is supposed to be a negative yoga. But it is not only because Saturn is there, that has also to be the Hora of Mars. And so, and Mars means action, including a person having to move here and there. That is why he's talking about the person
Beggar
who
Dikshu.
arms. He may be beggar or he may be a bhikshuka, the ascetic. Saturn also has a pravaja which is called the Nagna pravaja, a person who doesn't have anything. Isn't it? And Saturn is also servant, we know. So his energy comes from serving others, or earning his livelihood by seeking food from others. So this is, but here I have chosen it because here the Hora of Mars is of great importance. So this we have to understand. He is not talking about the uh, Mars being in Lagna or anything. He's only saying
Yeah.
Hora has to be there. That has links with that oft repeated saying of Hora is more powerful than Vara, the day, and day is than the day, and day is more powerful than the Lagna, and so on and so forth. That the regular slope that we come across here, the importance of Hora is also. So I thought this is an interesting one. We many
Very
a time,
beautiful, sir.
and at this time there should not be any benefic aspect.
Very beautiful, sir. So we also
So no benefic aspect or kendra,
see Kendras.
and specifically a Lagna. So if that aspect is there, then all those yogas for Penunary would perhaps get
Diminished.
extinguished. They will get softened,
Diminished. Yes.
diminished. So I
This
thought
is so beautiful where they have also not. So when we look at, we generally feel that the chart is not showing Penunary. But then when you look into the deeper aspects of the Panchang, here when we are looking into the Hora itself is telling us a lot of things, and Panchang is, as we find that it's now just set out only for the kind of Muhurta. But Panchang also has so much to say. And thank you so much, sir, for bringing one of these aspects of Panchang and telling us that they have so much of importance even in the classics, and the classics have been telling us. So we need to revise on that area also. Thank you so much, sir.
So here again, Saumya Adrushte, Arkadrushte. Shashini Sarvadhire Meshage Bhikshukatsa. See, we will be finding that Sarvadhire means Mars. Mesh is the Aries Rashi again of Mars, isn't it? And Moon is along with that Mars. Arkadrushte, when Sun is aspecting it. But again, no beneficial aspect. In that case, Bhikshuka Sal. That means the person becomes Bhikshuka. Bhikshuka I have already explained. It can be somebody who begs, or one who can seek alms, which was given to students in ancient time, and Brahmin. So Brahmin was actually, it's not a caste, it is somebody who seeks knowledge. And you were supposed to give him that Bhiksha, which you would be plain grains, not food as such. Grains, which he would then. And then the next one is, he said, Arkit Dvarkit. Sakendresh, Jadatanur, Adana Dhanya Bhukta Shanasya. Which means Saturn, Arki is Saturn, Arka, son of Arka is Saturn, Indu, that is moon, Arka, which means sun. If these are placed in a square or angle, then the person is lethargic, not very intelligent, which is uh, because it can be lethargic or not much intelligent. One is the same thing. Both are indicated by the word Jadatan.
Hmm.
And he is not well off to the extent that he might, partake of food leftover, the leftovers of others. So, in short, he would be a beggar. Again, we say we are looking at these planets placed in the square.
Yes.
Saturn, Moon, and Sun.
Sun.
All of them have to be in a square. And obviously, Saturn and they become paraspar karakas, as they say. Unless they are together in one place itself, they would be obviously aspecting. I mean, Saturn would generally aspect as the Sun, or Sun would aspect Saturn and Moon. And therefore, what is happening is that drive is gone. See, Sun gives self confidence. Saturn is hard worker. Moon is emotional. Now, all those three things coming in those kendras, helping each other, can lead to a person not being very aggressive. We can say, if he has confidence, then Saturn will destroy that confidence, because Saturn has the ability to influence three kendras. Always remember that. He is not saying anything about Amavasya when Moon will be with Sun. So Moon is probably in some other
Are
kendra.
they, yes, in some other game.
Moon aspected by Saturn gives many a times a state of depression. So now look at what is being brought together. And so what will happen? He will not work, obviously. See, and he would be reluctant to work. Saturn is either somebody who doesn't want to work or works hard. So here, because of Sun's influence and Saturn influencing the Sun, that confidence is gone. He would not work and he would not work. So what will happen?
So that means he will have to beg for his living. He'll have
Really, he would have to beg for his living. He might even find a shortcut of partaking of the leftovers in our Indian marriages. You see, many a times leftovers were there, and they used to be thrown off. And those who are Indians would remember, at least of my age, that beggars would come and seek that food also. So this is the position, and so remember that it is not always necessary that just because in the Kendra a powerful planet is there, uh, it would always lead to something. But you will see that if that person works hard, then the same person can rise to any extent. So
Right.
placement of those planets in particular bhavas are of very prime importance. Don't forget that. I mean, I will give you an example. Lord Rama had
Yeah.
Moon in Kendra, Saturn in Kendra,
And
Sun
Sun
in
in Kendra.
some time. For some time in his life, he had to wear the absolutely Balkala, we say, which is bark of tree. I mean, he was a king, but he had to do that and seek arms from others. But because he persevered, he rose to become king again. So please understand, these are not to be taken verbatim, and one has to understand what karma that person has put in to overcome that those these sort of
Because those
yoga,
physical
and
part.
when they happen, they would happen in their dashas, antardasha period, when even the transits are helping. So please never say that somebody has a yoga for penury or yoga for ultimate wealth. That is subject to that guy putting up right
Right.
words at the right time. This is what I wanted to tell. That is why I brought in the yoga for penury instead of wealth. And
Thank
to
you.
show, okay, even such yogas can always be overcome by dint of hard work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Please hit the bell icon for fresh updates. Don't forget to like, share, and comment on the videos, and please subscribe to our channel.